This is the new Bentley Continental GT Speed. It costs from just under £237,000, but this one here, with options, is almost £300,000. The carbon ceramic brakes alone cost £14,000, but for that much money, you could actually buy a whole Conti GT from 2006 with some money left over. And that's exactly what I've done with this car. It cost me just £10,200 and it's got just 65,000 miles on the clock. Seems like a bargain. But is it? Well, in this video we're going to find out, because I'm going to compare this new Bentley Continental GT Speed, just lovely, bang, it's just straight into life, bloody hell, with this original Bentley Continental GT. It's a little bit saggy there. What do you think I paid for it? I'm winning. What could possibly go wrong? Oh no.
Yeah, but we'll come back to
that.
that.
No. I'm Matt Watson and you're watching Car Wow.
I searched online for a while to find the right car, as buying a once expensive Bentley for such a small sum could be very, very risky. I wanted to make sure I got a good one. I ended up going to see two different cars, but the others weren't in great condition and had some potentially scary issues.
And then this car came up and it seemed like an absolute winner. Okay, so the exterior paint isn't the most exciting and neither is the dark interior, but it's not polarizing and it certainly seems very posh. Plus, this car has some great things going for it.
It has full service history, low mileage and no sign of any serious fault codes, but we will be checking that later in the video with a full professional inspection. And I might be in for a nasty surprise.
Oh my God. It's crazy to think that this car cost me just £10,200. New, it was around £120,000. And if you adjust that for inflation in today's money, that's about £200,000. And you know what? It has really stood the test of time. It doesn't look old, does it? It just looks classy, timeless. I mean, look at it. It's got like these really like pronounced haunches. It's got presence. And moving to the back, just neat, tidy, elegant. And back in the day, there was no fake exhaust pipes or anything. Look at that, just necessary exits for the huge amounts of exhaust gases you're going to be emitting into the atmosphere. Plus, it's got some choice options. So we have the Mulliner seats with the diamond quilting, same in the back. You've also got the Bentley logo on there. Yes, you have to pay extra for that. And so too with the dark walnut inlays here on the dash. There's leather absolutely everywhere. There's something about leather headlining. It's a little bit saggy there, but elsewhere, really, really nice. Oh, I love it. Everything feels expensive, even today, apart from the infotainment system, which quite frankly is be better if that wasn't there. But everything else, nice. Very nice. Plus, look, we have a Bluetooth function here. Look, doesn't really connect to modern phones though you can just insert your SIM in there. High tech.
But what does an extra £200,000 actually get you?
The interior of this new car is just lovely. I really like the material they're using. It's leather here on the seats, just so nice. I like the colour scheme as well. Roy doesn't think that he goes particularly with the exterior colour, but I'm not so sure. I think it works very, very well. And it blends old and new technology. We've got digital dials there. We've got this bit that spins around. Just go for some clocks if you'd rather. All very, very nice, and it feels spacious. And oh, I think the damping's even better on this than the old one. Oh, and this kind of velvety roof lining. Gorgeous, gorgeous place to sit. I like this car very, very much. There is one thing that's a bit of a disappointment. It's the clock. In the old car, you had a Breitling clock. This one is just a Bentley clock. Bentley isn't famous for making clocks. Cars, but not clocks. Bentley call this version of the Continental GT the 4th generation, but actually it's more of a 3.5 because underneath the skin it's very similar to the 3rd generation and it shares lots of its bits with it. However, it's the first Bentley since the 1950s to have just 2 headlights. These have actually been inspired by the Bacala. See, that was a concept car which became a limited run car. The bonnet is new, the front bumper's new, though it's still very familiar for a Continental GT. The wings are a new design, though once again they look very similar, but they've been redesigned to fit in with these new headlamps. You've got new alloy wheel designs moving down the side. It's very sleek but also muscular. Good strong creases on it that I don't think were possible really back in the day when the original Continental GT came out. They look good though, don't they? And you've got new tail lights, new rear bumper. Let me just check something out. Yeah, these are fake exhaust surrounds. That are the real exhaust buried deep within there. That is one thing I prefer about the old car's design.
But does the old car's exhaust sound better as well?
Ooh. and no soft limiter. Now let's hear the new car. Go on, start it up. Clearly a soft limiter. Doesn't sound as good, but turn it off again. It didn't seem to have any starter motor. It just like exploded into life. Go on, start it. It's like bang, it's just straight into life. That's because it's a hybrid and it's got the electric motor to start the engine super quickly. Whereas the old car, you kind of get a sound, a little bit like when you start an old warplane. This old Continental GT is powered by a good old-fashioned 6-litre W12 with no hybrid technology at all. I actually love the way you open the bonnet. So you pop it, lift this up, that bit pops out, the Bentley, then you pull on that to release it, and here we have it, look. Whoops. Yeah, 560 horsepower, 650 newton meters of torque, driving all four wheels via 6-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. This car is supposed to do 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. What's the reality? Right, let's see what we can do. Oh, blimey, I'm trying to brake boost it. Really got to put a lot of force into the brake pedal. Obviously there's no launch control on this. Brake boost, go. Blimey, traction control has just kicked in. 5.9 seconds. Let me give it one more go. Try and do it without traction control. Hopefully this isn't too unwise. Let's do it again. It's better. Doesn't pull as hard as I thought it should. Slightly better time, 5.73.
Some horses have clearly left the stable, so now I'm going to take my Bentley to the dyno to find out exactly how much power is left. But before that, let's address the elephant in the room, the new car's power plant.
Whoa, wait a minute. It's a 4-litre twin-turbo V8. It used to have a 6-litre W12. That old engine used to put out 650 horsepower. But don't worry, Bentley may have downsized the engine, but they've added an electric motor to it, so you've got hybrid power. And now the total system puts out 782 horsepower and 1,000 newton meters of torque, drives all four wheels via an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox. 0 to 60 is supposed to take 3.1 seconds. Though, a few excuses to begin with. The road surface isn't great and it's damp. Spinning its wheels, but bloody hell, 3.2. It's close enough considering the conditions.
Clearly, the new car is a lot faster with its smaller V8 hybrid power plant. But speed is no good if you can't stop. So that's why Bentley have fitted this new car with some of the biggest brakes you can get on any production car.
The upgraded carbon ceramic brakes on this car feature 440mm discs up front, gripped by 10 piston calipers, and you've got 410mm discs at the back, gripped by 4 piston calipers. Let's see how well they perform in a brake test from 60 miles an hour. If I can get anywhere near 35 meters, that'd be amazing. Let's go into it now. .37, it's all right considering. This old Bentley has 405mm iron discs at the front. Don't know how many pistons in its calipers, but I bet it's not 10. At the back, you've got 335mm discs. Let's see how well they work. Here we go. Bloody hell. Oof. Oh, it was okay-ish. No, it wasn't. I mean, it is damp, 40 meters, and I don't know how many of those it could do because of the weight. I think the brakes would soon overheat.
And overheating brakes isn't my only worry, because now it's dyno time. And if this engine overheats, it's going to be very expensive.
I've come to RE Performance in Swindon. I'm here with Mitch.
How you doing?
Hello. We're going to find out how many horses my Bentley has lost over the past 18 years. What would be an acceptable figure?
500 plus should be where it's at.
And anything less than that, a bit, oh dear.
Oh, come on! Oh, what's going on? Come on!
So, after that run, it wasn't looking good. Only 327 horsepower. So, Mitch did a couple more runs to see if the car would do any better.
Mitch, this is rubbish.
It's not great.
Don't laugh. It's my Bentley. So we're getting what, 360 horsepower, the crank?
Yeah.
Not 560.
Few ponies have left the ranch.
Like 200.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of hope though, because this orange graph, that's the torque, isn't it?
That's our torque, yeah.
So what's peak torque?
619 newton meters.
So it's supposed to do 650,
Yeah,
so
so
down on what it's supposed to be. That's okay.
Yeah.
So the problem with the power is that it just doesn't hold it.
So with this engine on this, that should near enough stay flat all the way through. And you can see it's just dropping straight off.
So basically then, the turbo should be fine because it wouldn't produce that torque.
Yeah.
But there's something that's stopping it either breathing or revving out. Maybe it's just like in limp mode or something, or...
I wouldn't say it's in limp mode, but it's definitely doing something. All of a sudden here, where you're getting that peak power, it's then pulling it away again.
Okay.
Because it's not happy with something it's seeing.
Later on, Mitch will attempt a cheap and easy fix on my Bentley that could get its power back where it should be. But out of interest, we dynoed the new car to see if Bentley was telling the truth about its power figures.
Looking at these figures, Mitch, it's not great because we've got engine power listed at 696.9 horsepower when it's supposed to be like 782. But that doesn't tell the full story because I notice this graph stops at how many RPM?
4,800.
So it's doing almost 700 horsepower at 4,800 RPM.
Yeah.
And you've not got a reading past then. Why?
Purely because the car and the dyno today aren't playing ball.
Okay, they don't like each other.
They don't like each other. With this being so new, I've got to look at exactly what settings I should be running on there, but also if there's a specific dyno mode that the car should be in.
There probably is.
Because it's freaking out. It gets to there and it just goes, no more.
But based on that graph, if you could rev it out and it was working properly, bearing in mind that the torque curve there, I mean, look at it, it's so flat, and it peaks at 1,030 newton meters, and they actually state Bentley 1,000, so it's over that, and it just holds it. Yeah. What do you think the horsepower figure's going to be if it ran properly?
Looking at that, if we just look in purely at our projection, if you're thinking you've got another 2,000 RPM up there, we're going to be around here. So it is going to be at least what Bentley are saying.
And probably more.
And probably more.
Now this is great news if you buy the new car, and the best bit is it doesn't stop there.
This latest Continental GT Speed comes with a 3-year manufacturer's warranty, which gives you peace of mind. It means you can just get on, drive and enjoy it without worrying. There are some other costs you do need to worry about, and I'll come to those in a bit, because first, let's just compare how these cars actually drive. This new Bentley is just so glorious to travel in. Now I could drive it in electric only mode up to 87 miles an hour, but I like to have the woofle of the V8, and because it's a hybrid, it really does pick up dead quick. I'm in comfort mode. I'm going to floor it in 3, 2, 1, go. I mean, it's just bloody hell. Considering that was comfort mode, it just took off as soon as I floored it. And this engine feels really strong. And now I can just chill again. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Oh, the air suspension just floats you down the road. I've got all the driving aids, so I can just use automatic cruise control. It's quiet, apart from the noise from the engine, which is what you want. Lovely, lovely thing. I'm in love with this car. The original Bentley Continental GT was based on the same platform as the Volkswagen Phaeton. Remember that? It was when like Volkswagen tried to do a Mercedes S-Class. Now I think that particular car started its development like in the late 90s. So this car does feel pretty old to drive. The steering wheel does kind of tip to the left slightly. I think we need to get the tracking looked at. Let's see what the pickup is like on this engine. So here I am, cruising at 40, need to overtake, floor it. Gearbox is pretty responsive, and now we're going. I think cars are definitely quieter. You know, this has got like glazed windows and Bentley soundproofing, but I'm having to raise my voice ever so slightly, more so than I would, say, in that BMW M5. Which is funny, isn't it, when you think about it? You'd always imagine that something like an M5 would be more raucous and louder than a Bentley, but cars have just got, I guess, technically better. But they haven't necessarily got more character, and there is something about this, something stately.
And there's nothing more stately than being driven about in your own Bentley, right?
We're going to find out if Rory can get in the front of the car while I'm sat in the back. That's a good sound.
That was a hernia coming up. I'm nowhere near my driving position, but I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah, I'm secure here. I don't need to wear a seatbelt. And my head is touching the roof. And while the quality is very good back here, I have noticed that that's a bit kind of loose and baggy on there. No Isofix, you can't fit a child seat. So there are some things I like the organ stops there, the air vents. And this just feels very expensive. That's just, oh. Let's see if this one's any better. Headroom's better already. And I've got cutaways in the seat backs, which help. Get to the similar position that you're in the other car.
Okay, so about there.
That is better. Get into a position that you could actually drive comfortably.
Are you ready?
Now stop.
So there.
Move a bit forward, please. You do my calves. Oh, if you could drive like that, I could go a distance like this. Yeah. This is definitely better. Oh, you don't have that in the old car, do you? Seatbelt butler.
No, it's my butler.
And the seats are more comfortable, and we've got Isofix under here. Oh shit. You can do that, yeah you can. I've broken it.
And that wouldn't be cheap. But there is something that is considerably less expensive on this new car when you compare it to my old Bentley. And that is the fuel bills. But to find out by how much, I brimmed both cars' tanks and set off on an identical journey to compare the cost.
Considering the weight, this car handles unbelievably well. I mean, part of the reason for that is that it's based on the same platform as the Porsche Panamera, and Porsche knows how to build fine handling cars. You've also got a brilliant four-wheel drive system. You have a 48-volt anti-roll system, which keeps the car nice and flat through the turns, and it really does stay flat. It's surprising how much fun this thing is to drive on a twisty road, to tell you the truth, considering how comfortable it can be on a straight motorway. And then there's the gearbox, an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic, once again from Porsche, with lightning fast changes. We've also got loads of grip, and there's rear axle steering, which keeps the car nice and stable and poised at high speed sweeping turns, and then makes it nice and manoeuvrable at low speed turns. Yeah, look at this. It's got a turning circle, this has, of just like a normal family hatchback. Look at that. Cake and eat it. This car does feel pretty old to drive, and I remember them from back in the day. Like, I was a motoring journalist when this came out, and it was a phenomenal car in terms of the speed, but the handling, it was adequate is the best way to describe it. Yes, you have four-wheel drive traction out the bends, which is great, but the steering, it's kind of a little bit like disconnected, and ultimately if you really do start pushing this car, it's going to start nosing wide in the bends and you're going to just run off the road. So you just waft along, and then get on the power when you come out of a turn and just let that W12 do the work.
I was keen not to ruin the W12's fuel economy too much, so I opted to take it easy and waft out of our fuel stop. But before I reveal the crazy cost difference between these cars' fuel bills, I'm going to weigh them, because it isn't just the engine size that affects fuel economy. Weight has a part to play too.
So this car weighs in at 2,375 kilos. Now that's with a 60% full fuel tank. I've got to adjust it for it being 90% full. So I need to add in 21 kilos in fuel, which gives me a total weight of 2,396 kilograms, which is actually 11 kilograms more than the car's stated weight. So it's over in terms of weight, unlike the horsepower. So the tank on this car is about 90% full, which means the reading on here is the actual weight of the car. So it's 2,451 kilos. Interestingly, that's 55 kilos more than the old car, which isn't a whole lot considering the tech on board.
And that tech has helped this new car achieve some pretty impressive fuel economy figures. Over the 40-mile journey, the new Continental GT used 3.18 litres of fuel, which cost £4.36. The car's trick computer claimed it was doing 45 mpg on the journey, but our calculations say it was doing this much. Meanwhile, my old Continental GT used 10.45 litres of fuel over the same 40-mile journey, and that cost £14.32. The trip computer said the car was averaging 18.3 miles per gallon, and based on my fuel usage over 40 miles, the true MPG came to this. Does that mean you shouldn't really trust your car's trick computer, or just take them with a pinch of salt? But if you calculate a year's ownership, averaging 8,000 miles in a year, in fuel costs alone, you'd be looking at £872 for the new car and a whopping £2,864 for the old car. But really, if you can afford a new Bentley, this wouldn't matter anyway, so it's a bit of irrelevance. Just did it for fun. Question is though, does this theme continue? Well, now I'm taking my car for an inspection to reveal what issues it has. This could be very costly.
This is Matt from RE Performance. Hello, Matt. Great.
How are we doing?
You've looked into the other fault codes on the car.
Yeah, a quick look into them. So obviously, for the engine side.
Yeah.
These are all your ECUs as such. As you can see, all the ones with red, they have no communication to. Navigation's got a fault with it. And then obviously the orange is where you
Air conditioner.
It's okay. It's not cold. It's quite average.
So the things to think about are the tyre pressure warning. We don't care about that. It's just been decoded. Yeah. And the air conditioning. Now on to the next bit. Okay, Matt, let's check out the bodywork.
So you don't have any like harsh scuffing or anything like that?
What about the lights?
Yeah.
Is that on the outside?
I believe that's on the inside.
Oh, brilliant. So does it look at all like it might have had an accident?
I don't think it's had any crashes or all that sort of hidden past as such.
The wheels don't look bad either.
The insides of them are starting to corrode. It all depends how much you want to spend on it as well. So.
Not much, if any.
If any.
No, we'll come to that in a bit.
Oh, yes. The bodywork's actually quite good.
Shall we get it higher in the air and see what's going on underneath?
Like suspension and brake lines are all good.
So the bushings are all pretty solid, really?
Yeah, rear end were pretty good.
Underneath it doesn't look like it's been, damaged underneath, no. But I just did go, because what's this?
So this looks to me as like an underseal.
That's a good thing.
And then obviously the closer we look towards the engine.
Wait, what's all this?
You can start to see.
Oh, there's liquids.
Yes.
There's oily liquids, Matt. There's dripping. Oh my God.
So up there is your CV boots.
Oh my goodness.
Up there where it's split.
Oh crap. That's an MOT failure.
So there,
yes.
As you go, yeah.
So it's shedding grease, isn't it?
Yeah, over to this side. Can we see the same again?
Yes, well split.
There you go.
Oh my God.
And it got worse. Matt also found that the brake disc needed replacing, there was an aircon leak and a potential fueling problem which could result in the engine needing to be taken out. How much is all this going to cost then?
So for the brakes, 1,500 quid. For the drive shafts, around 600. That'll be fitting second-hand used units rather than doing the boots. Aircon, say around 300 quid for aircon issue.
Okay, what about if I wanted the car to produce the 560 horsepower it should produce?
Initially, I'd say let's do a few hours worth of labour, diagnose it properly, go through so we know 100% what it's going to be, about £1,300.
Ooh. Right, so we're at £3,700,
yeah.
Which when you look at it, the rest of the car's pretty solid, really. Yeah. And so that would be almost £14,000 for a Bentley in good working order, so long as nothing else goes wrong.
Yeah. If we do need to take the engine out, I reckon you're going to be best part of £5,000. So in a quick total, about £8,500 if it does need to come out.
Better have a new one that's got warranty. But what about the other costs such as insurance, tax, servicing, tyres, the whole lot?
Well, the new car would set me back £6,434 over 3 years. Running the old car would come to £6,643. And if you pause the video now, you can see a breakdown of those costs. Though, for my old car, that doesn't factor in any unexpected repairs. And so the total could be a lot higher. And these costs would be even worse if I bought them as company cars.
Now you might be thinking, I know that benefit in kind is based on the cost of the car. So if my company was to buy me this old GT, I could just put it to the company, it'd be quite cheap because it's only based on £10,000, even though the emissions would mean that it falls into the 37% bracket. So 37%, £10,000, I'm fine with that. However, what the Inland Revenue do is work out the benefit in kind based on the price of this car when it was new. And that means when you do that, the benefit in kind on this Bentley, if you're a top rate taxpayer, would be more than what the car actually costs you. So there'd be no point. It'd actually work out at having to pay the taxman £18,000 a year. Forget about it. Because it's a hybrid that can do 50 miles on electric power alone, this new Continental GT falls into the 8% bracket for benefit in kind. So if you're a top rate taxpayer, which you're likely to be if your company is going to get you one of these things, you would end up paying £9,500 a year to the taxman in order to have this car, which really, when you think about it, isn't terrible.
So actually there are aspects of owning the newer, more expensive car that would work out cheaper. And another thing to consider is what happens if you have an accident, even if it's a very small one.
A new bumper, that's £2,500. A new headlight, that is £2,000. And that's just for one of them. And that doesn't all include the labour to fit them. So a mild front end smash could end up writing the car off.
And that's because most insurers will write a car off when the cost of fixing it exceeds 50 to 60% of its market value. So really, buying an old cheap luxury car seems like a terrible idea. Well, not exactly. There is one key area where the old car wins out.
And it's depreciation, which really does affect this new Bentley.
And I mean really affect it. In 3 years' time, with 24,000 miles on the clock, you'd lose £130,000 in depreciation on the new Bentley. Whereas my old car, the worst of the depreciation has already happened. So I can expect to lose only £1,500.
It's madness to think that the money you'd lose on one of these new Bentley Continental GT Speeds over 3 years would be enough to buy 13 of those old Bentley Continental GTs. 13! I'm not quite sure what I'd do with 13 of them.
Though with that many, maybe one of them would deliver full power. And shortly, I'll be seeing if Mitch at RE Performance can get my car running back at full power. But first, I want to know what the public thinks. Does my old Bentley make me look rich?
How much do you think my Bentley cost?
100 grand?
So my mate's behind, how much do you reckon that cost?
More than 150?
Have a guess.
65 grand?
What do you think you paid for that?
80.
What do you reckon? 36. Oh, it's very specific. That one.
Over 100.
Don't start. I watch your YouTube channel all the bloody time.
Okay, all right, okay.
Probably only about 60 or 70 grand.
What do you reckon that costs?
Brand new, probably around about 160, 170,000.
So, that is the result. People will think you're a lot richer than you really are if you buy a cheap old Bentley, even if one big fix could bankrupt you. Speaking of which, let's see if we can finally get this car's power figure back to where it should be.
We have faults in engine.
Hopefully ones that you can just get rid of by saying clear fault.
Engine ECU2, it's saying it's not talking to. That is from the past.
Yeah, and we've got an active one here.
For ECU2 failure. It is obviously communicating and talking because the custom works and runs. So let's see if that actually clears. See what else we've got running in here as well. So we've got fault codes in ABS, but that's just basically saying that you've got faults in the engine.
Okay.
Right, injection 2, exhaust temperature sensor, bank 1.
That's going to be doing it, isn't it?
Fuel pressure control, bank 2.
That'll be doing it.
Exhaust, bank 2, yeah.
And there's a bunch of other fault codes.
Yeah, just normal generic. So what we will do is let's clear, or try and clear all of these and see
if they come back.
If any come back straight away. If they do clear, what I'd like to do is do another one and just see if we've got any immediate gains.
Okay, we like gains.
You like gains?
Here we go.
It's good. Engine's gone and injection has gone. So at the moment, she is happy, but she's not on at the moment. What I'll do now is I'll run it again. We'll see what we get.
Okay, come on. Come on, Bentley, come on. We've got this. We better have this. Here we go.
On that one, because we've cleared the parameters that it knew from last time, this time it's basically starting fresh. You can see straight away when I was doing the pull, it gets to a certain point and then it dies. Went, oh no, I don't like this, really don't like this. And it's just pulling it.
And the torque figure's lower as well. Yeah. We've got 580 rather than 620 Newton meters. So essentially what you're saying is the car learned to cope with its illness. Pretty much. Now you've made it forget about its illness, and then it's like starting from scratch, like going, oh, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Mitch explained that there's most likely an issue with the fuel pump or one of the sensors, which is causing the lack of power. So not the quick fix I hoped for. But overall, what do I think of this car?
I'm amazed at how good this car is for the money. Yeah, it's got a few faults, but we'll get them fixed. And, you know, I reckon it's going to come to around £15,000 for a sorted old Bentley Continental GT, which just feels so expensive and special even today, and way more special than £16,000, and certainly more than the £10,000 actually paid for it in its current state. This though, wow, what a car. I would rather have this than its competitors from Ferrari, Aston Martin or Rolls-Royce. It is a truly wonderful car. It's very, very expensive, but it looks and feels it. If you can stomach the depreciation, actually don't. Get it as a company car, then it's not too bad. Let them worry about the depreciation. It is a brilliant, brilliant car, and I would love one. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to watch some other videos, click on the windows. And if you want to see what happens to this old Continental GT, as we try to fix it up, make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'll be updating you very soon. Thanks for watching.